Good morning, fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. Uh, Here we are doing our things again today, and we should do hip hop. That sounds like a thing. Hip hop. Hip hop. That's so hip. And hop. So I am still doing the same thing I was doing last night, which was putting in text. We either have to do this now or we have to do this later. Nope. So this isn't wasting any extra time for this. All right. Good morning, Merrick. I'm kind of glad that we're done with the 4th of July. I mean, not like I think that's going to make them stop with the fireworks, but kind of glad that the fireworks are over. You know? Oh, good. We can continue to operate this and squeeze it, which we need to do a little bit. Now I need to move somehow, figure out how to. And it's the Commonwealth. How are you doing so far this morning, Merrick, my old friend? I gotta get that H on here. There we go. Is it light blue in there? Why is it light blue in there? It is light blue in there. Why is it light blue in here? I mean, that looks like it's doing this. Did the balloon change properties? Oh, yeah. The balloon has decided already to be this balloon, specifically. Just this balloon, not all the other balloons. This balloon has decided it must be in color. There's no reason for it, but it's decided that. It's kind of funny, actually. I actually just woke up a little while ago, too. And jumped in the shower. Actually, I didn't jump in the shower. I stood in the shower for a while. I like using these distorted circles, but see, this bubble is not in fact green or blue, and oh, I guess I just need to do this and then just say, instead of black, make that no, make that white, and instead of red, make that black, and that'll fix that problem. There we go. Now, can that fix that problem? Over here, we say hawk. Hawk. There we go. I use this simple jaggy one to indicate sort of communications from, like over the radio or whatever. It's not really radio, I guess, but the space radio. I also like the distorted circle because it is right next to the communication thingy. The circle I use for communication. Yeah, that should be. It should give you the impression that she's talking to. The scene is hard to read right now because there's no pictures, but it's the outside of the kitty wake, and this is coming from from the kitty wake. Then we show her office, which is at the tail end of the kitty wake, and then you see this also coming in through there. And then we cut to inside. She's sitting at her desk right here, and he's still on communication, So she's live, so she'll be in a normal bubble. Then he says, This is the same thing, and it's a close up on her. And talk, just talk, and then it's the Commonwealth, Mr. President, not the Weird. We can be civil, you know. So it should fit pretty well. I signed up Crunchyroll last night. I have been in and out of Crunchyroll over the last however many years, and it has just been one of those funny things. Since I came back from Japan, I have had kind of a lukewarm interest in anime. No, negative, just I was a big fan of anime before I went to Japan, and then I think I felt like anime and anime didn't represent what it looked like in real life. And so I kind of not burned out, but I don't know, it was hard to explain. But recently I've been kind of getting back into it. I've been kind of like, oh, this is kind of fun again. This is kind of fun. So I've gotten back into it, and I've been watching, or I've been thinking about signing up for Crunchyroll because they've got Witch from Mercury, which is the new Gundam. And I started to kind of ponder some of these things and kind of think about how do things, because I'm a mecha guy. I have always been a mecha guy. That's why we've added mecha to Bellatrix Rising. It's Star Trek with mecha. And it's because I actually really adore mecha, and there's some good stuff there. And so not just mecha, but transforming mecha. That's the best part. So anyway, the thought was last night that I had, which I thought was kind of interesting, is that they don't call mecha in this comic. They call them gears, as in like apostrophe gears. So it's like Gerwalk, which is a term for the Valkyries from Robotech when they are in their half mode, not airplane, not robot, but somewhere in between. It's called Gearwalk. And so I thought gears would be cool. Are you going to take the gear? Yeah, I'll take the gear, So anyway, Is are the Xenogears, are those, is that gear? Is that what they use the word gear for in Xenogears? Do they, and they just use the term gear like I was just talking about, because I had never played Xenogears, so I don't really know. So, of course, I mean, it comes to mind that like every word has been used. So if I use gear, maybe it's because the person who named them played Xenogears in this future. But mech, I feel like, is somewhat overused. And I feel like if someone said, "We've built this mech," then some other general would be like, "Could we not use the word mech, please? Everybody uses the word mech. Can we use some other word?" You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they'd be like, "Really?" So we need to come up with some cool name that nobody's used. This is coming from someone who's reading right now Mobile Suit Gundam. And I actually really adore the word mobile suit, but same problem, right? I mean, we, oh, Omni Gears. I get it. That's kind of cool. Mm. And that's kind of a little bit closer to my story arc than I want it to be. It's a little uncomfortably close, so maybe gear is a bad idea. Totally like giving him a piece of his mind here. He's like, moments like super possible to get blown up. Why are you doing this to us? Oh my god. Yeah, but the story between the two is too close. So there are there's a bigger part of the Bellatrix Rising story that's out there that we haven't quite explored yet, which has sort of ancient relics revolving around Mecca in a way. So I want to be more careful to not, have somebody go, "Oh, he's just writing a new version of Xenogears." You know what I mean? Whereas that's not the core crux of the story, but it is some part of it. There's an old, I mean, the history of the Shakrana and of the other races, they've been spacefaring for a very, very long time. So, um, there are ancient Shakrana Mecca and ancient uh, Najor Mecca and stuff like that, which are out there and have been out there for a while. So just want to be careful of that, not to, I really don't want people to think I'm just making a knockoff of Xenogears because that'll lead them down the wrong story arc. You know, they'll be like, this is just Xenogears. Why is he going this direction? I didn't expect that to happen. I don't like this story anymore. I wonder if there's a way to chain balloons together. Hmm. Is there a way to link them? Hmm. Mine, maybe? Hmm. There is one thing I really love. The balloon tool is exquisitely lovely. It is a wonderful tool and it works really, really well here. And I dig it. I so dig it. All I'm doing is just pushing all these edges outside of the bubble, just so that there's no chance of it accidentally being inside the bubble and having just little squiggles at the very corner of the page. This is a common technique used in American comics that I'm going to apply here. When it comes to dialogue and bubbles, I defer then to American comics because, as you might imagine, um, English doesn't run the same way as Japanese does. So, imposing upon my comic the stylization of Japanese as a language won't work because it's never going to work the same way. Brent, good to see you, my friend. I got the camera over there working correctly, and I built this really cool mount assembly over there to hold both my big camera and the normal camera that we use for the show so that it's mounted turned the right way now. So it's actually turned correctly as opposed to before where it was upside down and I had flipped it on here. But now we've got it so that it actually shows properly over there, and that's kind of cool. I still need to adjust it because it's not adjusted, but there. So I had before when I was sitting over there, and this wall was my background. I had my monitors on arms up there, so they were mounted to the wall and on arms. And I took the monitors and moved them over here so that they would be part of this setup and this rig. Um, but excuse me. Now there's a monitor mounted into the wall, so it just extends out here and goes nowhere. So I decided to make a setup so that I could take pictures of things in, like on the board out there. I can take pictures for things that we don't need to keep. Like I've got 1,000 zillion papers from my dad, whom are receipts and things like that, which probably aren't useful at all. But even on the off chance that they are, all we need is the information from it. We don't actually need the thing itself. So I'm going to take lots of pictures of these things because it doesn't cost me but a little bit of space here. I'll take a picture of it and then throw the thing away. And then I can free up some of this horrible space problems that I'm having here. And I'm having some serious space problems. Just saying. So, anyway, that was a long, rambling rant for no real reason. I had an entire set of game things, made up teams and everything. And now I can't remember any of them. Luckily, I saved them all. Speaking of, Brent, we're going to need to figure out at some point here how to make that website with the regular posts. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I was working on here, story pieces. Not urgent. I'm just saying I just want to keep it on our thought process. You know what I mean? Kind of keep it out there where we're running. Oh, you don't have to. Do you have to learn WordPress? Because I could do it in WordPress. I was thinking you didn't want me to use WordPress, right? I hate the idea of. Oh, okay, that's fair. I just hate the idea of you working extra work because of my weirdness and strangeness. But if you already need to use it for whatever reason, then I don't feel so bad. I feel a little bad. That's cool. If I can help you there, I feel fine. As long as it serves some purpose for you, you're putting in a lot of work for free. Well, I mean, not necessarily for free, but I'm giving you stories. But I always feel kind of like that's weird. In the barter system, I'm giving you stories in exchange for this. That just sounds weird. Okay, that's awesome, man. And feel free to experiment and blow up the site all you need, because, of course, naturally, it's not urgent. Like, I mean, it's not like I've got a billion people who are clamoring to read today's news in the system. I like this because Bennett's now just talking about random crap. That sounds cool. Sounds good to me. I think at some point, astronet.online will end up being the home base of Bellatrix Rising, because it'll make sense in universe. And if we play it as sort of you know, uh, a website that mimics what's going on in the story all the time, then that would be kind of cool too. Which can give you some things to do, like it might be might be a thing to put a forum on there, the old-fashioned forums. That might be kind of cool. I don't know if anybody would ever sign up for them. Social media sort of killed forums off. No, 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 I didn't. Um, I mean, I started to, and then I came down with the cold. So there was a cold that wandered around our group all last week, and it finally got me yesterday and the day before. So kind of dropped off that. Obviously, I couldn't have called them yesterday anyway. So shrug. You know, we do what we can. So I'm going to call him today at 11. I was going to, and when I say today at 11, I mean as soon as I clear stream. That's the top of my to-do list once we clear stream. I've got a couple of things I was supposed to do today. Like, we were supposed to go out. My buddy and I are going to start I've got a buddy who's got a drone and an FAA license, and so he and I are going to team up to make a all-inclusive media team company. So we can shoot your social media videos, we can shoot your real estate videos, we can shoot with a drone because we have a drone now, and you know what I mean. Like, we've got like a number of things we can do. So I was going to shoot a picture, some standard pictures of us standing there looking cool, but it's overcast and kind of gray and blech outside. as it has been pretty much all the way through June. It's so unseasonably wet out there. This is like the wettest I've ever seen. And that was like yesterday was the hottest day on record on the for the world. And for us, it was like this weird monsoon. Like we people started firing off fireworks and then it just dumped rain on us. Like the kind of rain where you cannot see more than a say 1,000 feet. That's really strange. You know what I mean? Like that's a really strange thing. So I'm not. Um, that's not good. Well, that's good, but that's not totally good. So anyway, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Maybe it's just too big. It's too big. That's why. I wish those circles were sideways or were the other direction. I mean, I get it. They're designed for manga, which makes some sense. Make sure that stays away from this on top of it. Then I have enough room to clear this guy right here, which means I'm going to take this and do that. You know what I mean? Like bring it down. This doesn't look like a Bellatrix Rising comic. Are you sure? Sure does to me. Actually, the guy I'm teaming up with for that is programmer two. So he's already built all of that. The reason he wants me along the line is because he needs somebody who can be a schmoozy face in front, talking to people. Oh, that's because we're setting up. So I am doing something new here. The last time when I did issue one, I did the whole thing and then sent it to my buddy James, who then read through the whole thing and said, "This page makes no sense. You need to add 2 pages." And I, at that point in time, was like, I guess there's nothing we can do because I can't add 2 pages. It's already ready to go. So this time, I'm doing all the text and everything on top of just the sketches, the thumbnail sketches we did. That way I can just send it to him and he can go, "This doesn't make any sense." And then it's not a big pain in the butt to rearrange 3 or 4 pages. It's not about I won't have to redraw the entire thing if he doesn't get it. So there's no maquettes in here because I'm not starting that yet. I'm doing all the other pieces first. Usually when you do a comic, you do the the comic drawing, and then you put in the text afterwards. The other thing I have noticed is sometimes you have a lot of information that goes in one panel and not a lot of room to do the text, and so you end up having to change the text, and I'm noticing that that's caused me to drop important pieces of the story out. So doing it this way is a little bit more time consuming on the front end, but I feel like once we get this all settled in, I can give it to other people to beta read and make sure it makes sense and not silly and weird, and will allow us to, also draw the pictures to make sense inside the bubbles. So once the bubbles are in, or the balloons as they're called, once the balloons are in, we can draw around the balloons, and that makes some sense. You're like, it doesn't look like Bellatrix Rising. I'm like, it is. It's very much like, wait, it has not. How did that happen? It is most definitely a Bellatrix Rising comic. I am not having a problem with that at all. There we are. I thought we were too far past the wall to connect to Astronet. We are, but I got a data dump from one of those freighters. I even have the skinny and the lead singer of Infinite Sundown if you want. We're kind of in an emergency here. Should call her Angie. I like the fact that the relationship between these two isn't much different than it was in Tamerlane. It's still pretty much the same thing, which is great because the one really strong relationship that I liked a lot that I was kind of worried that I was going to lose was the relationship between Angie and Cochrane, or in this case, Angie and Chang, who are the same. Cochrane and Chang are the same guys, same person. So. Oh, fine. Let's talk about the girl. What girl? Go. Hey Brent, did you notice that I had put pros up on Patreon? I don't expect you to read it. I just want to make sure I've got feedback that it showed up. There were a lot of new controls on Patreon. I haven't been using Patreon very much, and there were a whole bunch of new controls on there and everything like that. So I'm not 100% sure it's showing up and doing what it's supposed to do. There's like posting in the future controls and stuff. I don't know. So just wanted to know if you saw it and saw a signal that said that it had been up, because I'm not getting much feedback on there, which is fine. I don't expect feedback, but I got nothing to tell me whether it showed up or not. All right. The good news is once all this text is in here, we never take the text out. It never goes away. So this is still work that needed to be done at one side or the other. It just means that now the frame will be done when the frame is done, as opposed to being done. Because the last time we did this, that was another thing. When I did issue one of the things I learned was that I didn't want to do the issue, or I did all the drawing and put all the drawing into the pages, and then I was like, oh good, we're done. And instead of celebrating it and wrapping it up and sending it off to the printer, we still had 2 or 3 days of putting all the text in and page setting, and I don't think I liked that as much. I don't like that feeling of, yay, we're done, we did the last frame, it's in place. And then all the text setting was still need to be done because there was no text setting it done. So can't put it outside the safe though. As good as it is to have this way up here, that's somebody is texting me, which I won't check until I'm done positioning this balloon, because the word balloon needs to be positioned right and all that crap and stuff. Hang on real quick. I just got sidetracked because it looks like I'm teaching a class. Wheat Ridge. Which means that there will be no morning stream on Tuesday the 11th, which is fine. That's all right. I got sidetracked because of um, a thing. Underground. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna check the weather for the next couple of days. So no day stream on the 11th, just the 11th so far. My boss wanted help. Oh, good heavens. What is going on? Oh, naturally. I mean, like, I'm looking at the 10-day weather forecast here, and yeah. Starting to worry about Can just a little bit. Just saying. Just worrying about Can a little bit there. But I need to take pictures of a buddy of mine and me together with the drone. And I need to have the pictures done, but it's gray and overcast. And I don't want to do an inside staged picture. That seems kind of obnoxious. So I've got summer is one of those times where I can have as much work as I can hold. And so that's fine. But I'm really trying to figure out how to get Overview Images, which is this company that I'm trying to form with my buddy, to work. He's really good at organization and executive function, and I'm really bad at that. So if I can get the two of us to work together so that he does all the organizing and all he does is issue me orders so that I can follow them, then this will be the perfect match because I'm good at what I do, but I'm bad at organizing, which is why we're here on this stream, right? And why I need your help from time to time, Brent, just to keep me on task. It's one of those things that's hard to explain to people because usually, if you're the kind of person who falls off task, oh, you just got off work now? Or did you go to work at like 5-ish and you got off 5 a.m. ish and you got off work just now? So, I think we should some point in time just have a sit down, you, me. I've already sort of kind of warned Kat so that Kat can join because, like, I'd love to see 5 a.m. to 10:30. Is that your normal hour run or is this different? Normal for now. So 10 to 5 or 5 to 10. That's only like 6 hours a day though, Are you working 7 days? I'm like, interrogating. Let's interrogate Can. 5 days. Okay. It wouldn't be hard to move this show back to say 11 to 1 or something, give you an hour to come home, decompress. It's not going to feel like that today because of course you're still kind of in that honeymoon of everything is really hard to do, but at some point you might settle back down and go, "Oh, okay, I'm good. I can do on it. I can do something else." I doubt that'll happen right now, but certainly in the future that could be a thing. Yeah. I don't know. So just something to think about. Because I'm thinking now I'm going to start because of the situation here. I'm not as tied up anymore at nights. So there we go. In and done. Jennifer just sent back the email. My boss just sent back the email putting me in on Sunday and Tuesday for work, which is fine. It's just the math doesn't add up. Silver Cove is about 270 light years from here, right? Oh, hey, Can, do you happen to know if they've got American sized bubbles or bubbles in here at all? Ever? Anywhere? any more than that. Even though it's a Higoma, I'm going to have to still respect my print margins. I put it as close as I can as I want to the border, but I've got to still respect that border. The can is in the wall still, somewhere out there. I can sense him. Despite the humor level for this, don't pull that one too. You're pulling that one too, aren't you? I don't want that one to be pulled. Yeah. This bet's this, and then pull that back. I don't want the dude. Sometimes you don't want the things, and it still happens anyway. I mean, she doesn't look a day over 300. Hey, Brent. Re-high. There we go. I think that reads better. And she doesn't look a day over 300. And then Angie offers, maybe they made a lot of stops. And then Chang says, so her family stops at a planet, waits a few years, then screws up translating to in space again. Then stop again, realize they did it twice, and still screw up their translation to in space a third time. Let's do that. Let's do that a third time. And then they would have had to have done that like 5 times. That sounds a lot more clear that obviously she's thinking about this. The ship shouldn't have done. There's no way to do. The math doesn't fit. You can't do that. Either you went faster than light, at which time the trip between Silver Cove and here is like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or you stopped and started and screwed up the translation, so you were constantly accelerating up to speed to like took you like 3 years or whatever to get up to 50% speed of light. And you know what I mean? Like, there we go. Put that right here. No. So our family stops at a planet, waits a few years, then screws up translating to in space. Maybe not again. Let's just say that works without the again part. They said everything correctly this time, only to stop and realize that they did it again. All right. Alex is asking if we can go for a walk at 11:30. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't start raining by then. Yeah. They said everything correctly this time, only to stop and realize they did it again. You would have had to have done that like 5 times in order to make these numbers add up. Kind of like the malleable effect that comes from these balloons when you're like, oh, yeah. you're wondering, I have to move this frame down because what I want to show is Bennett thinking while eating something. And then she goes, "Yeah, that's fishy. So what's your theory, my dear skipper?" You know. But I have to make sure you don't read 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come down through here like this in some kind of weird turn. So I want to make sure there's a hole here so that you know that you're supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. This is the hardest scene in issue 2. All of this is important, but difficult to make work. So I'm doing what I can to get it to kind of fit in here. And that's why we've worked on this scene like many times in each iteration. This is the crux. This is the key piece. This is the most important piece of this issue. This scene right here. In fact, this page is probably the most critical page right here. And this is a very definite Hikigoma. This is the classic. This is the definition of a Hikigoma right here. So, if you guys haven't been up to date on my stream, a hikigoma is in Japanese literally means pulled frame. It's a pulled frame. It's dropped just a little bit there, and it tells you something is about to happen on the next page. So we've got this pulled frame. So we've pulled the frame down, indicate we're about to translate to the next page. We're done in 9 minutes here. I don't know where my mouse went. There's my mouse. So if I can clear. There we go. Because I feel like this is one of those listed under. You should have 3 panels here, right? And then what we have up here is she's from Earth. Pause. Pause. I mean, and then cuts her off right here. With this, it doesn't need to be this dramatic, but it should be pretty like screwed up. right? Because it's like out of whack and stuff like that while the apple hits the ground. Right, we'll move this over to here so that it's all cut off. Because I like the idea that it's Chang here. She's from Earth. Bennett. And then Chang starts to say, I mean, and then you see the apple hit the ground and she goes, oh shit, you were serious. Right? Like, so that, I like that a whole bunch better. It's like, as I say, somebody's on my front door. Somebody who has access to the house. That is a thing. It is real. It is a real thing. Right? It's that vampire. Stupid vampire.
Front door is open.
All right. It's 11:02. I'm going to call this one good and head off to my walk. We'll see you all this evening as usual. I appreciate all of you guys for being here today. Brent and even Can, who's in my walls apparently. Not sure what that means. And Merrick, who was here earlier. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.